Hi, welcome back to part 2 of Word Module 1. So, if you're following along on your book, we're starting on page WD 31. To begin with, we will insert that picture that we downloaded earlier. I'm actually going to turn on my formatting marks so I can see this extra line right here. I'm going to go ahead and press my center button to center that. And then I want to insert a picture. Whenever I want to insert something, that will be on my Insert tab. And in this case, it will be a picture that I've already saved on my computer. So Pictures. I will look at my desktop because that's where I saved my picture to, and I can see it right here, Surfing. And then I'll click Insert. Now, once I've done that, you'll notice that this picture is huge. It makes the text run off the screen. So there are a couple of ways that I can resize it. I can grab the sizing handles over on the corners. If you notice when I hover over them, my arrow changes into a two-headed arrow. There's also sizing handles on the sides and on the top. Be careful with those because it will resize your picture, but it will not retain the image ratio. So as you resize, things will look squished. So I suggest if you're going to use those sizing handles, use the ones on the corners. Press your mouse button down and then drag inward to resize the picture. So once again, don't use the ones at the bottom. That will make things look squished, or on the sides. Same thing. So use the corners to resize your picture. So the other way to resize a picture is notice that when you insert a picture, you get a different toolbar that appears on your, up with your toolbars up at the top of the screen. If I click off that picture, it goes away. But if I click on it, here is my Picture Tools toolbar. And if I look on that over in the sizing area, I do have the exact height and width. So I can change that to be the correct size that I want. So I'm going to change this to 3.7 and hit my Enter key. And that'll make it exactly right. Either way is correct, but sometimes Sam will ask for the exact size. And in that case, you're going to want to use this sizing box because you can resize it exactly. Once you've resized your picture, now it is time to apply a style to that picture. So once again, when that picture is selected, you get a separate toolbar for that picture. And in it, you'll see that there's an area called Picture Styles. If I click on the bottom, right below, here's already some preset styles, but right below that area, if I click on this, it will show me all the styles available to me. And as I hover over them, you'll notice they'll pop up with the names of the style. So the book is requesting that we change it to be a soft edge oval. So I'll choose this one right there, and it'll apply a picture style to the picture. It makes it look nice and oval and a little faded on the sides. I can also apply different effects to the picture. So Picture Effects, if I choose that and come down to the glow area, you'll see I can make the edges of my picture glow in different colors. Now in real life, I don't recommend this unless there's something specific that you're trying to do. This is going to look a little gaudy, but just know that you're able to do it if you want to do it. So we want Lime 5-point Glow Accent Color 6. And there it is. So I'll click on that and change that glow style, the outline. Okay, I also want to change the bevel. So Picture Effects Bevel, and I'm going to choose the angled effect. And you can see what that does to the photo as well. Now, time to add a page border to my flyer. So this border will go all around the outside edge of the flyer. I'm going to click on my Home tab and turn off my paragraph marks for this. To find this, we're going to look under the Design tab, and you'll notice that there is a page background area and a page border button within that. So I'm going to click on that, and you'll see I've got a bunch of different settings, styles, colors, widths. I can even do art, and I can choose what it applies to, whether or not it's the whole document or something else. So I'm going to select this kind of, make sure that's right, dash dot dot dash dot dot style. The color that I'm going to want is lime accent 6, lighter 40%. And so let me choose that. And then the width I want to be 4.5 points. I'm going to leave the whole document selected and I'm going to choose OK. And that's going to put a border around my flyer. Now notice, my flyer right now appears to be 2 pages, even though one of the pages is blank. And this has to do with the spaces between the individual paragraphs. So places where I've pressed the enter key, the space before and after those places. I can control the spacing in between those paragraphs with the Layout tab. If I look in the paragraph area, you'll see spacing before and spacing after and how much of each of those things do I want. So I want the spacing after to be 12 points. Okay, I want to change the spacing before and after the first paragraph, the title and the tagline down at the bottom. This will help it give a more balanced look on the flyer. So first I'll click up in the paragraph, the area I want to change. I'm going to make sure I'm on the Layout tab. And then for here, I want the spacing after to be 12. Then I'm going to come down to the signature line, which really just means the bottom line. And I want the spacing before to be 12 points. The other thing I can do to keep it running on the next page is I can delete that extra paragraph mark. So let me show you that with the paragraph marks on. Notice I've got that one floating over here. So if I put my cursor in between that exclamation mark and the paragraph mark and hit the delete key on my keyboard, that will erase that extra space. And now everything fits on one page. Finally, if necessary, I can center the page contents vertically to make them align in the up and down direction. So to do that, if I click on the Layout, there is a page setup area. This little box down here, we call that the dialog box, the page setup dialog box launcher. So I click on that and I get my dialog box and choose the Layout tab. And then I can see my vertical alignment right now says top. But I could change that to be center so that things are vertically aligned in the center area. Okay, let's look at how to save this document. Good practice is to save this document the entire time you are working on it. So we didn't do that this time, but I recommend that in the future. I'm going to click on my Home tab and turn off my paragraph marks just so you can see what the final product looks like. And then since this document is already being saved, I've already decided on the location, I can just use my Quick Save button up in the very top. I could also go to File and choose Save. However, if for some reason I want to give it a different name, or sometimes SAM requires you to change the number at the end of the file, if I go to Save As instead, I have a lot more options. So I'll choose this PC and desktop because that's where I am, and here is the file right there. And if I needed to change the name, I could, or if I needed to put it in a different area, I could do that as well. I'm going to go ahead and close out this file. We're back to my desktop. The file is on the desktop right here. And to open it back up, I just double click and it will open it back up right where I left off. Now occasionally you get where your home tab, your bar is not appearing, your ribbon up at the top. So if I click on my home button right there so I can see the ribbon, there's a little pin that I can use to pin that ribbon so that it will come back. Now, once you make a change to, or once you create your document, chances are you're going to have to go back and change it, especially in this class, because you'll have 5 chances to submit to SAM. So the first time you submit it, you will probably have things wrong. Sam will tell you exactly what you have wrong, but then you need to go back and fix them. So let's practice what that's like. We've reopened the document, and let's say I need to insert some text into my document. So I am going to click wherever I want to insert that text. So in this case, right before the word or, and I'm going to type the word today, space, to be able to insert that. If for some reason I want to be able to delete that word after I've inserted it, I can use my backspace key and backspace over top of it, or I can highlight the entire word and hit the delete key on my keyboard, or I can get my cursor in front of the word and hit my delete key to be able to delete it. Those are all appropriate ways to be able to delete something. Pick your favorite way. And then let's say, for instance, I want to be able to move things around. So if I triple click on a line, click, 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 then it will select that entire line. It's kind of a nice trick. And then I hold my mouse button and drag to where I want to drop this line. In this case, the second, right beside the second bullet point. So now I let go of my mouse and it moves that line to that second line. Now that I'm done, I can hit my save button again. So just so you know, please don't do this in class. You don't ever have to turn in a paper copy of something to me. But so that you know how to do it, if you need to print it, you go to File and Print. You select the correct printer you want to use, and depending upon what computer you're on, these choices may look different than the choices you see here. And then you choose the number of copies that you want to print, and you print. There's some other options down here in settings too, which are handy. If you need to try and fit something on with bigger margins or smaller margins or a different size paper, or choose a different layout. So please just know that's there, although once again, you don't have to turn in any paper versions of the projects you do to me. So now we have finished. Hopefully your flyer looks like mine, and hopefully you've also completed your note sheet.